Imposter syndrome. I want to break this down because some of you guys, well, you just have the wrong idea. You know imposter syndrome, baby?
I know it. I just don't have it.
This I can say is true forever. Yeah.
Yes,
Imposter syndrome, if you don't if you don't know, is a psychological. I love that they describe it like this phenomenon.
Phenomenon. There used to be a song.
Yeah, LL Cool J.
Phenomenon. Yeah.
Something like that.
You know what I was singing?
It's a phenomenon that she's not actually on stage singing right now.
No, it's something like phenomenon. That one.
Oh, that's a different one I was thinking. Okay. Yeah, it's a psychological phenomenon where people have a lot of self-doubt, they feel inadequate, and they essentially they're afraid of being exposed as a fraud. Now, I've seen this. I've been on many masculine podcasts where the guys come to me after and they tell me they have imposter syndrome. I can tell you that every single one of the men that I work with, whether they know it or not, becomes this person where they're afraid of being exposed as a fraud. But the thing is, they don't really realize that this has actually been going on their entire life. It's been programmed from a tiny young age, and it just keeps getting more and more edited, where you are essentially, you're just never going to be good enough. And so of course you could be exposed. But the reason why I bring this up today is not to really educate you on imposter syndrome. It's not because I think it's real or not real. It's because I think it's the biggest load of fucking crock of shit. It's like the attachment theories. It's like we talk about narcissism. It's like you guys are.
And he doesn't mean that it's not real. He means stop using it as an excuse.
Yes, we're using
because all of these things, we recognize that all of these, he used the term psychological phenomenon, which I did not know that imposter syndrome was considered a phenomenon, but that's what he means. It's not bullshit. It's the way that it's used can be bullshit. And you know what this reminds me of, honey?
What?
So Cass talks a lot about the nice guy, which I would call a nice asshole. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know how I feel about that term. It triggers me because they're not nice. They're not nice.
Fucking assholes.
But the nice guy, there's always something to prove. And there's always this like deep-seated insecurities. And I can actually recognize, I'll give an example. So when we got married, he had a house that he had gutted and he redid it. But he would always make excuses like, oh, it's Mickey Mouse. I don't actually know what I'm doing. I think because if he would have just stood in his confidence that he, rebuilt the kitchen or did whatever, I would have seen a mistake. And then he had to almost give me like a prelude to explain why everything wasn't perfect.
Correct.
Because he had imposter syndrome. He was just getting ahead of it so that I wouldn't discover it on my own.
That's right.
You actually did a lot of that.
It's
a false confidence and like making jokes about it. And yeah, so it's definitely an excuse, but we know it's a real thing.
Well, so thank you for clarifying, baby. It's absolutely real. But the problem is when we attach ourselves to something that we're researching, to some rabbit hole we've gone down, we limit ourselves entirely. The example that I'll first give is this man. I was on his podcast and he's very, very overweight. And then he proceeds to get on a call after and talk about business and how he presents this show. And it's a good masculine podcast. And for obvious reasons, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but he does a great job. He brings incredible guests on. He really has a great message. But when you talk to him and he starts talking about business after, and then he starts to get into the fact that he's overweight. And, by the time we had this conversation, well, he's definitely got imposter syndrome. And then he says it. But I've got imposter syndrome. I can't do it. I proceed to have another couple calls with this guy down the road, and we talk about what he could do with what I do with my app, with my men, with helping him with his business, with our mixed message, combining them, taking on the world together. And this imposter syndrome drags him down. Well, I don't know. I'm just like, I know I should be healthy, so I can't really represent that very well. I don't know. I can't. And you see, you use it as an excuse. But here's the thing. He already knows the things that he's impostoring. What do you even say there? He already knows the things he's doing that are not real. How about that? That work? Yeah. And so if you know them, then get off your lazy ass and fucking work out. If you think you're fat, you are. That's it. Okay? If you think you're not, maybe you should look in the mirror. That's it. Hey, if you're getting tremendous value from the Morrow Marriage podcast, will you please do us a giant favor? Leave a 5-star review. Without the help of men and women like you leaving those reviews, we can't get in front of more people. Thank you. We all understand how it works, and we all know what truth we tell ourselves. And sometimes we have to look at the reflection that our partner holds up for us.
What I'm hearing is sometimes imposter syndrome is based on fact. So what I know about imposter syndrome is you don't believe that you can accomplish it. You don't believe that you're good enough, so you don't do it. But this is
Correct.
this is the other side of that coin. You don't you're not presenting something that's real.
That's right.
So if you, I'm not going to give any examples because I don't have anything specific enough, but what I'm hearing is two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
The one side, imposter syndrome, is you just are afraid of being exposed because you don't have the confidence. The other side is, you're not doing all you can do. And so if you're exposed, there is guilt there.
Yeah, because you see, because so people look at it so narrow, and us, we're going to flip the way you think about things. Okay. Especially me. And so
I'm just here to translate.
Thank you. And when you understand that, that's exactly it. It's the exact same fear of being exposed as a fraud. What it is, though, it's a direct call out for what he knows he's not representing. See, if he's representing a masculine show, representing men in general, but he knows that he's not, able.
And you actually are an imposter.
Yes.
It's not imposter syndrome.
It's not a syndrome.
You are an imposter.
That's
if that's resonating with you. That would be like if someone found out that our marriage wasn't good.
That's right.
That's not imposter syndrome,
That's
guys.
Right.
That would be, we would be imposters.
That's
that would
right.
be not
what a
real.
Great analogy. Good example.
Yeah, I just got passionate about it, because if you have imposter syndrome because you suck at what you do, it's not imposter syndrome. You suck.
Yeah, this is the thing. Everybody bastardizes. Everybody bastardizes everything that comes out. You could have a 75 hard workout, and we had jokes at a mastermind once where it was 75 soft. No, I don't work out twice a day. I work out once a day, and I also take Sundays off. And no, I don't have to do the reading 20 pages. I have to do the reading. No, then you're doing the 75 soft. You're fucking being an imposter if you're saying you're doing the 75 hard. It's not a syndrome. Okay, you are being an imposter. And, this happens with absolutely everything. Oh, this is the diet that I'm on. Oh, this is the course that I'm taking and what I'm going to do it for. You're just trying to say all these things to
look good, but you're not actually doing it. That's not imposter syndrome.
It's not a syndrome.
You are a fraud.
You're just a fucking liar.
You're lying.
You're lying to yourself. You're lying to others.
Yes.
And you will be exposed. Now, let's say if you actually have this, well, that means that you are doing more like the examples of what Kathryn was talking about, right? Where I would present confidence, but I would also present a way out.
You were actually doing it. You did rebuild your kitchen. You did gut the whole house. So he did all of those things. He was just making excuses for why it might have not been that good. But I never would have even known it wasn't that good unless you pointed out, oh, it's not level here, and the insecurity came out. But if you actually have done it, if you take a course, he used courses and learning. If you take a course and you're learning, you're actually doing it. You're not an imposter. You're doing it. You just might not feel confident in doing it. Imposter syndrome, I think, comes from a lack of confidence. You can't be exposed at doing something poorly. I mean, you can, but you're still learning.
Yes.
It comes from a fear, a lack of confidence and fear, I think, now that we've actually come down to it. This is a really good conversation.
Thank you. This is where I wanted to go with this. Okay. The amount of people that come to us and say, oh, I can't help others. I can't. I mean, I've learned so much from you, Kathryn. I've learned so much from you, Cass, but I'm not there yet. So I can't. Your struggle is your strength. Okay. You don't have to be perfect. You have to be authentic. You have to be transparent. We still tell mistakes that we make in our own life. We share that with you guys. And then you in turn still come here and learn. Okay. The point is that I want you guys to understand you're not a fake. You're not an imposter. You're not a fraud. If you're transparent and you're learning and you're applying, you're failing, you're transparent with the failure.
Yeah.
You learn and you apply in a new way.
It's called life. That's actually how you learn everything. Did you learn to walk? Just stood up and walked one day and never fell? No, you're not an imposter baby. Imposter baby. It should be a movie. No, you're a baby.
Should be a movie.
You're a real baby. You're learning how to walk. Your baby learned how to walk today. She took 3 steps. She's not an imposter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
This is such a good episode. I love this.
I'm so happy.
Imposter syndrome versus being an actual fucking imposter.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
It's good.
I hope this episode gets so many downloads. I love it.
Well, guys, you can help us with that, please. You can download it yourself. You can make sure you share the episode. You can give us a 5-star review and get this stuff out in front of other people, guys. We want you to be as authentic and transparent as we are. We want you to be as real. You don't know the power and the strength in your message, your individual message. And I'm not saying go to air your dirty laundry. There's steps that we would take in a program called Momentum on our app, go.morrowmarriage.com, but like my point is this, we can't do this alone. We need more and more people who are authentic and transparent. Like in a world full of appointment setters and DMs and fucking AI, people are thanking me for a 30 to 40 second voice note. Like, because we're real, and you can be that real, and you can be an extension of our voice, creating your own voice and causing the world around you to change. Our children need it, guys.
Yes.
They've never needed it more. Okay. We'll see you next time.
Bye.